Jim Leonhard here, who's been one of the great additions to the Jets this season. I noticed that shiner from taking out Malcolm Floyd last week is gone. I'd imagine that was a huge badge of honor for you.
It was. Personally, I'd like to fight Rex Ryan for saying what he said.
No, you really don't want to do that, do you?
He said I didn't look very good in the first place, but I think otherwise. My wife thinks otherwise. So I'll talk to him during the week, and we might have to square off.
You had 2 days off this week. How much is that a result of the fact that this is a team you've already faced?
That's part of it. It's the point of the season to where, if you're familiar with the team, you've went through the whole season preparation. You kind of know what to expect. It doesn't make it any easier, but at the same time, you need the rest. You need to get away a little bit, give your mind a rest, body a rest.
Let's go back to the beginning of the season. You and Bart Scott, Marcus Douglas, coming in here, and part of your responsibility is teaching the Jets the Ravens defense. What was an area way back then that you were struggling with?
The biggest thing is communication. There's so much carryover from a past system. Maybe terminology is the same, but it means something totally different. And just things like that, just trying to get all 11 players on the field on the same page. It's difficult at times, but it definitely helped out to have one at every level. We had a D lineman, we had a linebacker, we had a safety to where you can just kind of take care of a small group of guys rather than trying to do things that maybe you're not comfortable with or explain things that you're not comfortable with. I think Rex, really thought that through when he brought all three of us in.
At what point do you think that communication was at the level that everybody wanted it to be?
I think towards the end of training camp, and then it takes a few games into the regular season just to get that game time experience when the bullets are really flying. You need to be able to have that communication, and we had our ups and downs all the way towards the end of the regular season, but for the most part, to be as successful as we were, we communicated well, and we realized just how much better this defense can be with all the mistakes that we made throughout the season.
Here's, I think, an interesting conundrum. So the Jets, according to the statistics, blitz nearly 60% of the time, and Peyton Manning is one of the very best in the league at negating the blitz. How does that impact how much, in fact, you bring it against the Colts on Sunday?
It does a lot. You look at Peyton, you're not that successful bringing pressure on him.
Why is that?
He's so intelligent. I think the main thing is that even if they can't pick it up, he knows to get the ball away. So he's not taking shots. He's not taking big hits because he's holding on to the ball too long. He knows if you're bringing pressure where the ball has to go and how quickly he has to get it there. I think that's the biggest thing. Is their offensive line is solid, but Peyton Manning is so smart that it's difficult, even with a free runner, to get there at times.
I've heard so many people say, the Colts, they're one-dimensional. They don't have a run game. Now, granted, Joseph Adai hasn't had a 100-yard game all season, and he only had 40 against the Jets back in Week 16, but half of that came on a 20-yard touchdown run. How important is it for you to not take their running presence for granted?
You can't. It's too big of a game, and their running backs are too talented. That's the thing.
What are we not seeing when we're looking at the numbers?
It's hard to say. They have all the talent that they need, but they have Peyton Manning. I mean, and they're not afraid. They're not afraid to throw the ball. And they run the ball as much as they have to, but at the same time, they're not gonna take the ball out of 18's hands.
I'm sure you guys were pretty pleased about how well you disguised what you were doing last week, all of the pre-snap motion, and it wound up causing the Chargers to call 2 timeouts in the first quarter. There were a couple of false starts. How critical is that, again, for you this week against Indy?
It's going to be huge. If Peyton Manning recognizes something and he knows the coverage or he knows the blitz, you're not going to get to him, and two, he's going to go to the right place with the football. So it's going to be huge for us to disguise what we do and give him multiple looks, and you have to make him uncomfortable somehow, and confusing him and making him a little uncomfortable is really the only way you can slow him down.
Jim Leonhard going to the AFC Championship for the 2nd straight year. Thanks for the time.
All right, thank you.